Gotcha! Scared you, didn't I? Come on, don't be afraid to admit it, we all get scared sometimes. Some people are scared of the dark, some people are scared of spiders, some people are scared of getting on a bus where the only empty seat is next to the guy who smells like hot milk and cigarettes. We all have our fears, so there's nothing to be ashamed of. The people who get scared most often are kids, because kids are stupid and can't tell what's real and what isn't. I'm not claiming any sort of superiority here, I was stupid in my childhood and, to be honest, not a lot has changed, but at least now I'm not as easily frightened. Anyway, I played a lot of games as a stupid little scaredy cat, and like everyone I stumbled across a few games that scared the living daylights out of me, and I thought I'd lay it all out on the table for you lovely viewers to mock. So, let's go through some of the scariest games of my childhood. I should probably make it clear that this video gets more embarrassing for me as it goes on, so look forward to BOOM! Okay, if I didn't get you that time, then you seriously must have nerves of steel or something. Anyway, enjoy the video! What better way to start talking about repressed fears and memories than by talking about medieval? Everything about medieval made my skin crawl as a kid, but it didn't for the courageous Sir Daniel Fortescue. He doesn't have any skin. Looking back on it now, I think medieval is a very charming PS1 classic. But as a kid, it was absolutely terrifying. I mean, from the get-go, it was a living nightmare. Starting off in a crypt, getting lost in a graveyard, everything was dark and creepy, the music was ominous, and the fact that all the enemies and even Sir Dan himself were either dead or undead wasn't comforting. All of the things a child would call scary were present in this game, and none of it was helped by the fact that I was constantly getting lost and had no idea what I was supposed to be doing. I somehow managed to stumble my way into the fight with the stained glass demon, and that's the point where I decided I could go no further, and turned the game off. There were too many dead things, too many demons, too many zombies, too many monsters, too many dark rooms, even Sir Dan was freaking me out, and that stained glass demon was the last straw. Pretty pathetic when you think about it. I mean, I made it through everything before that, and it was a fucking window that caused me to throw in the towel? Embarrassing. So, yeah, my time playing as the hero of Harrowmere was pretty scary. I guess you could say all those undead monsters scared the life out of me. I've checked what's next, and the text here suggests to flex your necks because, yes, it's Gex. Sorry, I'm not really sure what came over me there. Anyway, next we're going to talk about Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko. This is the first and only Gex title I've ever played, and similar to Medieval, I never got very far into it because I shit the bed pretty early on. To be honest, I found the hub world to be pretty unsettling. I think it was mostly the music that had me on edge, but that's not what petrified me. If you were scared of this game as a kid, then you probably know exactly what I'm about to say. I was terrified of the mystery TV level. It's only the second level of the whole game, but I could not bring myself to beat it. I think I was slightly freaked out by the fancy mansion setting, and also that I had no idea where I was going or what I was supposed to do, but it was the bears that really got to me. I was petrified by them. Initially, I thought it was just one bear in that lobby area, but no, there are more scattered around the level. When I found out there was more than one, I couldn't bring myself to finish the level. It didn't really help that the bears were brown, since they blended in with the environment sometimes. Like the walls, the floors, the furniture, my underwear, there was a lot of brown going on, so those bears almost came out of nowhere. I also never revisited this game until making this video, and it's a shame I was terrified. That mystery TV level is totally my type of thing. The mysterious and almost brooding atmosphere, the music, the detective getup, I love it, and I think if it weren't for the bears, I would have really loved that level as a kid. It sucks that childhood me couldn't bear to face that level again. Moving on to something that was actually meant to be a bit spooky. Enter Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem. I really liked this game, and I really liked it as a meddling kid as well. Scooby-Doo Where Are You was one of my favourite shows during my childhood, so it naturally follows that I enjoyed the Scooby-Doo games. I loved both Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem and Scooby-Doo Unmasked, but of the two I definitely think Mystery Mayhem is the scarier one. Okay, look, I admit it, this game isn't actually scary, but as a kid there were parts of it that freaked me out a bit. For starters, there's something incredibly ominous and almost threatening about the environments in this game. They're sort of still, they feel empty and silent and lifeless, which I found pretty creepy. The music, which is amazing by the way, builds on that creepy atmosphere with mysteriousness. Additionally, the fact that I had no idea where I was going most of the time, the fact that the levels have actual jump scares built into them, and that the Scooby snacks are possessed with a menacing purple aura, It's enough to justify getting a little bit freaked out. And let's not forget the ghosts. The ghosts roaming around are pretty intimidating to a kid. Catching them is pretty intense and they make you feel pretty defenseless. Ghosts can phase through walls and some of them are even invisible. And if you don't have any power left in your magic book, you can't defend yourself. Shaggy and Scooby can't even jump. It can get pretty full on for a kid. I found Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem to be pretty fun though, despite being a bit scared by it. How I ever managed to actually beat it is a mystery to me. But now we're moving on to the good stuff. You can't have a video about scary games without talking about Futurama. Yes. Look, let me explain myself, okay? Futurama the game is not scary as a whole, it's just the sewer level that terrified me. And I mean, can you blame me? The level is dark and littered with what I can only assume is radioactive shit, so no place is safe. There are the tentacles and the pipes that spring out of nowhere, and the giant sewer monsters absolutely terrified me. They're basically jump scares that can actually kill you. I think it wouldn't have been so bad if I knew how to play the game properly. I know you get a gun in this level and they can deal with the monsters pretty easily, but when I played it I seemed to always run out of ammo. Or maybe I just didn't understand how to use the gun? I can't really remember. All I know is I was half dead, lost in a sewer, running around trying to defend myself with a hammer and being scared shitless. So yeah, I was scared of Futurama the game. Bit of a fucking worry to be honest. And the worst part is, I never actually owned this game. I could only play it at a friend's house, so even if I wanted to revisit the game and redeem myself, I can't. At least, without emulating it. All the time and effort I spent in that sewer just went down the drain. I know it's been a scary video so far. Well, we've only got one game left, so we're almost there. The last scary game of my childhood is Shrek 2. Oh god, how embarrassing. Okay, let's see if I can still get out of this video with some dignity. Right, so, generally the game is very fun and very light-hearted, but there are some points in the game that had me on edge, frightened, anxious, or all of the above. For example, the spooky forest. I mean, it's meant to be spooky, so that's fair, right? The gloomy night atmosphere with the dead trees and the alive trees with faces that talk. I'm pretty sure there's a graveyard in there somewhere too. And there's a massive prison dungeon level later on, that's kinda scary, right? Right? And then there are some enemies that I would be too scared to approach, like the trolls and the giant pumpkins. Okay, look, this game just freaked me out sometimes, okay? But hey, if it means anything, I did work up the courage to beat this game. God, listen to me, trying to prove I'm not a coward by saying I was brave enough to overcome my fear of Shrek 2 the game. How pathetic. But it is true, even though I was put a little bit on edge by this game as a kid, I did manage to beat Shrek 2, and I lived happily ever after. So that brings us to the end of the video. Pretty scary stuff, right? It probably is a bit concerning that 3 of the 5 games I talked about aren't even meant to be remotely scary, but hey, I was a kid, and as I said, kids are stupid and can't tell what's real and what isn't. Let me know in the comments what games scared you in your childhood. I look forward to reading them. And finally, if you're like my younger self, or you have kids of your own, I recommend setting up your TV and consoles in the bathroom, so that if you do get scared and shit yourself, at least you'll be in the right place.